What if the house controlling your wealth is not the one you've been told to watch? For some people, the real money code is not in the second house at all. It's hidden deeper in the chart. If you've ever felt talented, intuitive, and hardworking, and still wondered why money doesn't seem to land the way it should, you're not imagining that disconnect. In astrology, some wealth patterns don't show up in the obvious places. They hide in the houses most people skip. So in this reading, I'm going to decode the hidden wealth houses you need to inspect. The exact zones in your chart that can reveal how abundance is meant to move toward you, through you, and because of you. Most people learn one simple astrology rule: money equals the second house. And yes, the second house matters. It tells me about your resources, your earning style, your values, and the level of self-worth you're willing to embody. But visible money is only one layer. Hidden money is different. Hidden money can arrive through shared capital, through the right people, through long-range community building, through spiritual gifts, or through work done quietly before the world fully sees it. So today, I want you to hold two categories in your mind: visible wealth and hidden wealth. Visible wealth is what you directly earn, hold, price, and build. Hidden wealth is what opens when your chart activates support, trust, influence, access, intuition, and unseen preparation. And this is why the story is bigger than the second house. The expected money house matters, but it is not the whole prophecy. Here is the map I want you to remember. The second house shows personal resources. The 8th house shows shared resources and strategic support. The 11th house shows networks, audiences, and collective gains. The 12th house shows hidden gifts, subconscious patterns, and behind-the-scenes wealth potential. If you screenshot one idea from this video, let it be that 4-house model. Because once you see wealth this way, your chart stops feeling random. It starts feeling precise. So hold that map gently in your mind. 4 houses, 4 pathways, 4 different ways abundance can take form. Let's begin with the second house because it is still your baseline. This is the house of money you can touch, count, spend, save, and steadily grow. It rules income patterns, possessions, material security, and just as importantly, self-worth. I always say the second house answers a sacred question. What do you believe your energy is worth? If this house is strong or supported by benefic planets, you may find it easier to earn through consistency, skill, and tangible value. If it feels pressured, challenged, or underdeveloped, the lesson is often about pricing yourself correctly, stabilizing your relationship to resources, and learning to trust your own capacity. But here is the pivot. The second house is not the whole story. I've seen people with very average second house signatures build serious wealth because they understood leverage, relationships, or audience. And I've seen people with beautiful second house placements stay stuck because they relied on talent alone. Your income style is not always explained by the second house by itself. Now we enter the deeper houses, the ones many people overlook, even though they can completely change your financial story. The first hidden wealth zone I want you to study is the 8th house. This house is powerful, sophisticated, often misunderstood. The 8th house rules shared resources, other people's money, investments, inheritance, debt, taxes, funding, energetic exchange, intimacy, and the deeper bonds that determine whether support can safely flow. In modern life, this can translate into investor backing, a spouse's income, collaborative revenue, premium clients who trust you deeply, business partnerships, grants, retainers, royalties, or strategic financial support. When I see a strong 8th house, I do not just think money from others. I think capacity to enter high-trust exchanges where value multiplies. This is not lazy wealth. This is relational wealth. It asks, can you receive? Can you steward what is shared? Can you handle power with integrity? And for some of you, that truth is healing. Because your wealth was never meant to come only from pushing alone. Part of your abundance may enter through healthy receiving, trusted support, and the courage to let life meet you halfway. So what does 8th house wealth look like in real life? It can look like building a business where clients commit deeply instead of casually. It can look like a partner who stabilizes the household while you grow your craft. It can look like collaborations where one person's audience and another person's skill create more together than either could build alone. It can look like financial advising, psychology, healing work, trauma-informed coaching, luxury services, investment literacy, or any field where trust itself becomes a form of currency. It can even show up when your presence helps people transform, and they are willing to pay premium rates because the exchange goes beneath the surface. The 8th house is not random support. It is support activated by depth. Let that settle for a moment, because some of you are recognizing that your prosperity may be linked to trust far more than hustle. There is a kind of wealth that appears when you stop treating receiving like weakness, when you let yourself be supported, not rescued, when you understand that sacred exchange is still exchange. And sometimes the hidden hand in your chart is not dependence, it's alignment. It's the moment the right person, the right backer, the right client, or the right partnership meets the work you've been quietly preparing to offer. Now let's move forward because the next hidden code is just as important. The 11th house. The 11th house is wealth through networks, communities, audiences, social ecosystems, and future vision. This house tells me how your abundance grows when you are connected to the right circles, the right platforms, and the right collective mission. It rules friendships, alliances, social reach, group support, and the long-range dreams that pull your life forward. In older astrology, it was even called the house of good spirit and gains. That matters, because sometimes your chart does not say, become richer by doing more alone. Sometimes it says, become more visible in the right room, become part of a larger current, build with people, share the vision, let your work travel through community. So if people have always been part of your path, that is not a distraction from abundance. It may be the design. In modern terms, 11th house wealth can look like an online audience, referrals, mastermind circles, community-based brands, social media growth, membership models, collaborative launches, nonprofit leadership, or being introduced to opportunities through friends and aligned peers. It can look like one person opening a door that changes the next 3 years of your life. It can look like your ideas gaining traction because they serve a collective need. This house is especially powerful for people whose income expands through visibility, ecosystems, and long-term relationship building. The 11th house says your wealth may not just be in what you sell. It may be in who your work reaches, and who carries your name forward. Before we go deeper, let me make one distinction very clear. The 8th house is shared capital and deep exchange. The 11th house is community gain and network expansion. One is intimacy and trust. The other is reach and alignment. If you need a simple memory anchor, use this. 8th house wealth is built through depth, merging, and strategic support. 11th house wealth is built through circles, audiences, and collective momentum. One says, who will invest, commit, or share resources with you? The other says, who knows you, believes in you, and spreads the signal. Both can create abundance, but they move very differently. And when you know which current is stronger in your chart, you stop forcing the wrong strategy. Now we arrive at the most mystical house in this conversation. The 12th. The 12th house is where hidden gifts often develop before anyone can see their value. It rules the inner world, intuition, healing, research, imagination, spiritual work, and what happens behind the scenes. When wealth is tied to this house, the path may look quiet at first, but that doesn't mean it isn't powerful. And if you've spent years feeling unseen, I want you to hear this gently. Invisible development is still development. 12th house wealth often asks for inner work before outer expansion. It can show up in spiritual businesses, healing arts, research, writing, film, music, compassionate service, retreat spaces, institutions, confidential work, dream-led creativity, or any path where your sensitivity becomes an asset instead of a burden. But it can also show where you hide from being paid, where you undercharge because visibility feels unsafe, where you confuse sacrifice with virtue, or where your nervous system has not yet learned that abundance can be peaceful. So this house carries both the block and the blessing. The more conscious you become, the more the hidden gift can emerge. The less conscious you are, the more money leaks through unseen emotional patterns. And by now, you may recognize yourself in one house, or in several. That is normal. Your chart is layered. Your wealth path can be layered too. So let me show you how to actually read this in your own chart. Step 1. Find the house. Look at your birth chart wheel and locate the 2nd, 8th, 11th, and 12th houses. Step 2. Identify the sign on each house cusp. The sign gives the style, tone, and behavioral flavor of that wealth pathway. For example, Capricorn on the 2nd house may earn through discipline and structure. Pisces on the 12th may hide spiritual gifts that become valuable through healing or art. Aquarius on the 11th may thrive through digital communities and unconventional networks. Scorpio on the 8th may attract powerful transformation-based exchanges. The cusp sign matters because it tells you how that house wants to operate. And now we go deeper. Because yes, you can do this, even if you're a beginner. Step 3. Check for planets inside the house. A planet there amplifies that zone. Venus in the 11th can attract support through community and audience love. Jupiter in the 8th can expand shared resources and strategic backing. Saturn in the 2nd may require patience and discipline around money, but can also build lasting wealth over time. Neptune in the 12th can heighten intuition, imagination, and spiritual sensitivity, while also requiring stronger boundaries around confusion and escapism. Step 4. Find the ruler of the house. If Aries is on your 8th house cusp, Mars rules that house. Then ask, where is Mars in the chart? Its sign, house, and condition tell you where that wealth current flows next. This is how astrology becomes a living circuit instead of a static label. So as you're listening, try this on your own chart in real time. Don't overcomplicate it. Just notice what house feels charged, what sign appears there, what planets live there, and where the ruler leads. Here is the simple checklist I want you to keep. Find the house, read the cusp sign, check for planets, track the ruler, then ask one final question. How has this already shown up in my life? Because the chart is not abstract, it is descriptive. It leaves clues in your history, your patterns, your relationships, and your opportunities. Before you go, notice which house feels most activated in your chart right now. 2nd, 8th, 11th, or 12th. That clue alone can change how you pursue wealth from this point forward. Let me leave you with something I really want you to feel. If your wealth has felt hidden, delayed, unconventional, or hard to explain, that does not mean it is absent. It may mean it is coded. It may mean your abundance does not move through the loudest door. It may mean your chart asked you to develop trust before support, vision before visibility, healing before scale, or community before gain. So please, do not mistake mystery for lack. Do not mistake timing for failure. Some of the most powerful charts carry wealth signatures that only make sense once the soul is ready to use them well. Take one breath with me here, and let that truth settle into your body. So let's bring it all together. The 2nd house shows what you earn, own, and value directly. The 8th house shows what can grow through trust, shared resources, and transformative exchange. The 11th house shows what expands through community, audience, and collective momentum. The 12th house shows what must be uncovered, healed, or developed behind the scenes before it becomes a source of abundance. None of these houses are better than the others. They are simply different wealth languages. And your chart may speak one more loudly than the rest. If you want to go deeper after this, the next step is simple. Open your chart and tell me in the comments which house feels strongest for your wealth path: 2nd, 8th, 11th, or 12th. If you want, I can make a deeper breakdown on how to read the ruler of that house next. If this reading helped you see your chart differently, stay close. Subscribe and watch the next video, because your chart holds more strategy than most people ever learn to read.